little background story. When I broke my neck, I was obviously 18, still at school, didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. So when I broke my neck, obviously my options were cut down drastically. So I went to study at Tuks, did my undergrad in psychology, majored in religious studies and education. Then I did my honors in journalism, and now I'm busy with my masters in communication management. By trade, I am a sports journalist, covering mainly rugby, funnily enough, much to my mother's dismay. She's not very happy with that. But we do what we do. We do what we love, as much as you guys have done. You do what you love. I love rugby. So writing about rugby makes me still be able to play the game in a weird sense of the word. I became a sports journalist. I was always very good at English at school. I never knew I would become a journalist. I wanted to become a psychologist, but I realized people are too full of shit, and my life is too difficult to worry about people who cry about their dogs. Although the dog is important to that person, I've got much bigger problems to deal with. So I decided psychology is not the way, and I can help other people, and I can help people in other ways. 2012, I started a blog, basically a website, where I spoke about rugby. I had no experience as a journalist at all. I started, for 2 years I worked for free, doing what? Working my ass off to get to where I am. Excuse the French, just there's all men here borrowing the ladies, so I can speak a little bit vulgar. And I suppose you guys understand, being policemen and all. Stumbled into journalism, and in fact I started my website, Rugby from a Wheelchair, in the parking lot of Muirmed in the middle of June, July 2012. It's just snowballed from there. Right now I'm the assistant editor of Game On magazine. I write for Supersport, I write for Varsity Cup, I write for the Bulls, I do all their website. I've got a thing coming out later today for them, and I'm doing what I love. But like I said, it doesn't exempt from the fact that we have social stigma. And I need you two guys, how long have you guys been in wheelchairs for? Or paralyzed, or been disabled, or whatever?
Myself, 17 years.
17 years.
Me 4 years.
4 years.
Myself 14.
14.
Yes.
12.
17.
Pardon?
17.
17. Oh, so you guys have much more life experience than I do. You should be telling me about social stigma, not the other way around. As much as you guys will know, it doesn't go away. It's how you deal with it. So I'm going to touch on the giving of money and stuff like that first. You must understand that all around the world, people are ignorant to disability. They don't understand disability. And as a disabled person, it is your responsibility to educate people, because you know what you're talking about. It's not the social workers, it's not the physios, it's not the psychologists, it's not the OTs, it's not any other therapist. It is your responsibility. So when somebody comes up to you and says, how do you pee? Or how do you have sex? Or how do you eat? Or how do you bath? See that as an opportunity to educate. People are asking because they are interested. They want to know. They don't understand what it is that we are, because there's no education. They don't teach about this at school. We are swept under the rug. We are abnormal. We are different. And so society pushes us under the rug. But we can change that by being in the community, going out, doing things, going out with your friends, going overseas, the stuff that I do. That's why people, when they look at me, when they speak to me, they don't speak to me in a condescending fashion, because they don't see my disability. Because I'm out there doing stuff. Yes, I cannot walk, but I've got a great group of friends that help me to do what I need to do. If we go out and there's stairs, my mates pick me up and we go up the stairs. But that is a decision you have to make. You can only break down social stigma if you choose to break it down. Because the stigma is with you, not with the people. So if somebody comes up to you with money, it's happened to me as well. where somebody would give me 100 rand. I'm like, I'd call them, I'd tell them to come look at my phone. I go into my banking app, and when they see my balance is sitting at 35,000 rand, they quickly realize that I don't need money. So I'm very sarcastic. So I'd say I tend to play on sarcasm quite a lot. So that's how I deal with it. That's how I make people realize that I don't need it. It's coming from a good place. They think you need help. But it's up to you to say, listen, I'm okay. I may be in a wheelchair, but I'm not destitute. You're not destitute because you're in a wheelchair. You can't walk, and thus you're in a wheelchair. That's the only thing. In terms, are you guys working?
Yeah.
What are the biggest problems you face in the workplace?
Oops.
There's a lot.
Lot of
Name the top three.
no,
If maybe
actually do something, we want something, they just think we are disabled, you know, and we respond for that thing we ask for them. It's tough sometimes.
The biggest thing I think you guys deal with will be they see you as unable to do your work. It's happened to me. I've lost jobs because people cannot see my potential. This is long ago, it's not now anymore, because I've proven to people I can do the work. I push out work faster than able-bodied journalists do. But that's because I respect my deadlines. That is why people approach me to do work now, because people value the fact that I value my work. So as a disabled person, you need to put 150% in every time you do something, whatever it is. But when it comes to work especially, you can only prove your employers and your colleagues wrong if you prove to them that they are wrong. A big thing, obviously, disabled, you guys are down, you guys are here, pressure sore, the concept, you can't work, understandable. But there's ways and means around that. I'm fortunate that I'm a journalist, I work from my phone, so when I'm in hospital I can carry on working. You guys may not necessarily be able to do that. So you guys need to find work out there that will help you, that understand that work understands your disability. At the end of the day, you're still a citizen of South Africa. You have human rights. You are entitled to work. People cannot stop you from working because you are disabled. And you need to, as a community, I mean, you guys have more life experience. There's only one guy that's younger than me in terms of wheelchair years. You need to stand up for yourselves. Because nobody else is going to do it. Because nobody else gives a flying shit. Nobody cares about you. Your family and your friends, yes. But nobody else cares. It's all about making the money. It's all about working. So you need to prove to them, like I have. I've been a journalist since 2012, so that's 5 years. The first 2 years was free, 3 years. Now the money is just coming because people respect my work ethic. If you're going to turn around and every 5 minutes use your disability as an excuse not to work, people will not want to use you. It's as simple as that. There's organizations out there that will help you to find the work where you are seen as a valued member of society. And that's my biggest thing. I want people to respect me for what I do, which I've achieved. And I want people to understand that I may not be able to walk, but it doesn't mean that I can't work. Because at the end of the day, I plan to have a family. I plan to retire. I'm not going to live on the government. Well, I don't live on the government. We can't in this country. But I don't want to be a crutch to my father, to my wife one day, to my brothers and sisters. I want to lead. But that's an internal thing. That's a decision I made. I don't want to rely on other people. And I'm blessed to have a father who has a lot of money, makes life a lot easier. But that doesn't mean I'm going to live on him forever. In fact, I've got plans in place to move away from his money and to become my own man. Because at the end of the day, we're all men. There's an internal need for us to be dominant because testosterone flows through our bodies. And that can still happen. You just need to decide if that's what you want. And if you can do that, social stigma is always going to be there. You are different. You are in a wheelchair. The stigma is not going to go away, but it's how you deal with it that matters. And yeah, that's my 5 cents.